Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Card Talk, a podcast where we spend just a little bit of time talking about cards from Lord of the Rings, the card game. I'm your host, Dave Walsh.
And I'm Ted Bannock. Mastodon.
And I'm Micah Quantz. I'm here for the hot takes.
Triceratops. Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Brachiosaurus.
I'm naming Rangers, dude. I'm naming Power Rangers.
Oh, I got it.
I thought that's what we agreed to do.
Yellow, black, pink, green.
Yeah, okay. You got the colors right.
Yeah.
I'll give you some points.
Yeah.
What's a Power Ranger?
Okay,
Well,
well,
generational age gaps,
Right.
both old and young.
right. We're Teletubbies. Maybe you're trying to name Teletubbies or something. I don't know. Okay.
I think the
Before we
confusion
go-
on Micah's face is like, is he having a stroke.
Before we get off the rails completely, maybe we should tell people how to stay in contact with us here at Card Talk. We obviously have an audio and a video feed. Get those wherever you get your audio and video feeds, mainly video on YouTube, audio anywhere you get your podcasts. And also like and subscribe those things too, because it helps drive your algorithm to have shows pop up. We also have a blog where Matt over at the blog, our amazing blog master, he reviews the card pool one card at a time, and he keeps up with the with what we do here at the pod. So if you're sick and tired of listening to me or Ted or even Micah, you can, although I can't understand how anybody would be sick and tired of listening to Micah. He's new to the show, not new to the show.
Not yet.
But, this
But
being
give it
his-
another episode.
Give me a couple episodes. You'll
Right.
be plenty sick and tired.
right. You can go and you can read what Matt has to say. You don't have to even hear his voice. And then lastly, if you like what we do here and you have a couple extra bucks that you want to throw our way to help pay for hosting fees and all the things that we bring to you, that would be great over at patreon.com/cardtalk2018. That said, I think we should ease on down the road. Ease on down the road. Okay, is that another song that may make the Card
Guess so.
Talk playlist?
getting
I
there.
don't know. Yeah. Ted,
Yo.
I know Micah's with you, and typically you've tossed. I'm about to choke here.
Well, David's
Typical-
choking.
Yeah,
Did
well, I'm
Rick
choking.
read today's card.
Yeah, typically I say, Ted, what's today's card? And then you will say, Micah, what's today's card? So should I just skip you altogether?
Just read the card. Just read the card, Dave.
Me?
Yeah.
Why me? Because you decided it. Okay. It's the one thing Ted has control of on the show.
We're revolting.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a 3-cost lore ally with one willpower, 2 attack, 1 defense, and 3 hit points with the Dunedain Scout trait. And the East Road Ranger gets +2 willpower while committed to a side quest. So, I mean, this seems pretty good when you're playing either a scenario with side quests in it, which didn't make their appearance until the Angmar Awakened cycle,
Right. Yep.
or or if you're playing player side quests, which also didn't make it around until that. This card may be a feel bad moment if you're playing him through the him or her playing the card through the core set scenarios, because there's no side quest there. But you know, um, I like this card. Right? It's you get a bonus to commit it to the side quest, and has more than one attack. 2 attack makes it good. 3 hit points makes it good for archery. Archery's always present in the game. So, this is a decent ally in a side quest environment. What say you? Either one of you. 1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah.
Mike is on it.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't find I play a whole ton of side quests, but if you're already coming up against side quests, you're playing Angmar or you're playing Harad, you get a lot of value out of this. I wish maybe the stat line was a little more focused. Feel like it's a bit all over the place, and I don't like when a card stat line is like, we've got a little bit of everything. I mean, the ability then, is like, okay, so it's a quester, but if you're not on a side quest, like, what do you really do with this character?
You attack with him,
I suppose.
Clearly.
right? Or you defend him. Defend with her. I'm going to
With
say
one
her.
defense?
And 3 hit points.
That's tough, especially in a cycle where you're in Angmar or Haradrim.
I don't know. I mean, that's kind of the thing that's good here for me is like, if you're not committed to the side quest that has 2 attack, which is
The
for
attack
an ally, like
is pretty good.
pretty
Yeah,
good, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Ted, chime in here.
I think Micah. I think Micah's opinion makes sense to me. Like, if you play it, like, player side quests are good. Like, they can be really impactful, especially in certain scenarios. But you have to like find those. I guess you can start with one, right? If you play the hero, the
Yep, Thurndir.
Thirdadur,
Right.
Thunderdome.
Thunderdome.
Who like he could be like, if you play mono lore, right? Like, first turn, you start with whatever side quest you want, and then if you draw one of these, you play it, and then she goes for 3, or he goes for 3. Elf, long hair, ranger. It's a Dunedain, right? So
Yeah,
not an elf.
it's not an elf.
So I think in the cycles where there are side quests in the encounter, and you're also maybe playing 1 or 2 in the deck. Although when you're playing the scenarios that have side quests, and you usually have to get rid of them because a lot of times they're very detrimental, and then to also play 1 out of your own, like, you're spending a lot of turns not doing the main quest. Which can be fun, but there are some that are really built around it. Like, did one of you say Treachery of Root Hour?
No.
Is that okay? So that one is like, you start with side quests,
Right.
and there's another across
Fire
the
Fire in
Etnors?
the Night.
Fire in the Night also is
Fortress of Nern.
Fortress of
Nern.
Nerd. I was thinking Fortress of Nerd. Right.
Yeah, maybe it should be one of the like 4 cards left in your deck.
Not that, not that you'll see this one because it's gonna be gone. But.
So I like to get the stat line. like to play 3 to get 3 willpower with the option for 2 attack and 3 hit points to archery soak
Mhm.
is good. So I would say that's where I'm commonly like, all right, I'm already playing a lower deck with probably 2 or 3 lore heroes. I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna take out this other 3 cost ally for this one because it's just better statted for going against this particular scenario. Or
Yeah.
some players, if they go to convention, they will bring like a sideboard of cards, which is more competitive thing. But they're like, oh, against certain scenarios, they might swap in. Like if your encounter has conditions,
Right.
you
Mhm.
might want Iron Hill Miner or some other card that removes
Right.
conditions, right? So you bring those like with you, like in your deck box, but don't put them in your main deck.
Right.
And that's I think one of this. It's like a sideboard card that you play against those scenarios because they're
Yeah.
just better statted for it.
Yeah, I mean this card makes me think about my deck building. This episode is making me think about, like there's not a ton of space in my deck usually for 3 cost allies, that are kind of generic 3 cost allies anyways. And so, I have a lot of 1, 2 cost allies, and then I'll have like the beefy allies like, you know, Treebeard and Gandalf and things like that. And so when you're in a 3 cost ally, like my Sylvan deck that I play, my Slippery Sylvan deck, it's just, the only 3 cost generic ally is the Sylvan Tracker, and every other I'm sorry. And then the Marksman of Lorien is
Oh,
also
and
3 cost.
tactics.
Yeah, and tactics.
Yeah.
So, but like 3 cost for generic ally isn't, you know, like bread and butter for just filling out your deck with things, and I think that
Mhm.
that's what you were getting to, Ted, about it being a
Yeah.
sideboard card, and so, like 1, 2 cost, you want a bunch of to, for their let's do a thing when they come into play, but I don't care if I chump them. And then the 4, 5 cost cards are the bomb cards and the cards that maybe even try to make your deck go, or the cards that you're trying to get at. So, 3 cost cards are not 3 cost generic cards like this aren't as common. And so like I don't really put this card in a deck unless it's going to be a side quest. You build it with Thurndir, you build it and put 2 or 3 side quests in there, and then all of a sudden now you're at a side quest deck, or it happens to be, a scenario that could have, some of those some of the side quests in Angmar Awakens are
They're
like tragic. like
yes.
there's the one that takes your hand away from you, there's the one that
Mhm.
Yeah.
takes the Arion away from you, and if you can't get it has time on it, it's like if you
Yeah.
can't get a Arion back. So like, there's a reason to run this, but only specific reasons, right? So
Yeah. It's like, oh, if you're not getting the willpower boost, this card's overcosted. But if you are, it's a deal. But it's got this
Mhm.
situational thing on it, and side quests are just not prevalent. And again, even if you are running them in your deck, you're only getting that. Ideally, you want to clear a side quest in 1 turn. So then let's say you do 2 in a game because you have 2 in your deck, then you're getting the bonus for like 2 of the rounds.
mhm.
You know, doesn't like I think there's better allies to pick, but yeah, in the cycles that there are side quests, I think it can be definitely worth it. And then especially because you can have multiples out, right? So you put 2 of these, now you're up to 6 willpower on 2
Right.
allies against it. So
Right.
yeah,
And 3 hit points on a generic ally is not so bad. Like you know,
yeah. One defense, like he could survive an attack,
yeah,
like it could happen.
right. But if you are, you know, like Micah said at the beginning of the show, right? Made a good point. It's like, what else is this guy doing? His stats are kind of spread out. If this card isn't questing, then I think it's attacking. Like that's what it's doing. So I think that is all right, And I don't think that there's any global boosts for for any side questy things, right? And there's not really global boost to Dunedain allies, and then Scout. But there is the Scout, right? Not Proud Hunters. What's the Scout one that we talked about last episode with Suleiman?
This scouting party.
The scouting
in
party, right?
Spirit,
So
and
you know, so if you're doing the scouting party, this is a scout, and so you get the plus 2 plus another 2, and now this is 5 against the side quest. That's all right.
Yeah.
yeah,
But again, it's very situational.
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
It doesn't go into a general, like, we're not putting this in another deck somewhere.
No, it goes in potentially if you're playing certain quests, or it goes into a Thurindir deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that that's about it. You know what the biggest problem with this card is?
It's art.
It's what?
I said it's art.
Oh, no, I was going to say it's called East Road Ranger, and it doesn't even have
It's
the
not
Ranger.
It's not a ranger.
It's not
yeah,
a Ranger.
It's,
It's
a
not Ranger.
Dunedain and a Scout. So you think it'd be called like East Road Scout, but I guess
right.
a lot of the Dunedains are also rangers, like
Right.
synonymously.
Yeah, that's just
Huh.
that's so funny. So what about the art, Ted?
I mean, it's generic guy on horse riding on road, and that's cool.
Generic woman, definitely woman.
You think so?
I think
Yes,
so.
I think so.
I agree with Dave.
I'm not looking at it that closely. Oh, I guess if I zoom in, yeah, okay, female on horse. She's got the little star brooch Dunedain thing, so at least
Right.
that's like, on par.
Yeah. It's decent artwork, It's kind of the generic artwork you come to expect. It's definitely not a late game Magali or anything, but it's good art. The horse is good, like horse art can be tricky from what I hear, like
From what I hear, yes.
I mean that's just I've never drawn a horse, so but from the people who I know that draw horses can be tough, I guess.
I've drawn horses, just not any horses that look like horses.
Right. Yeah. Maybe that would be the better way of saying it, right? Oh man. Well, should we ring this guy then? This girl, sorry.
Yeah. Why don't we ring her up at the cash register?
Okay. So, for anybody who doesn't know or maybe new to the show, we have a highly scientific yet arbitrary system where we ring a card on a scale from 1 to 10, where 1 is the best card in the game, or the what is it, the one card to rule them all, and then the number 10 card, a card that gets a 10, is the card that we throw back into the fiery chasm from whence it came, or not a very good card in the game. So let's see. I think we're back around to Micah. Micah, I think Ted went first last week, so Micah, you're in. What do we got? Oh, he's going to drop the hammer. You can see he doesn't want to. He's too new to drop the hammer, but he's about to.
I'm going to go... No, it's not going to be that bad. I'm going to go
Okay.
a 7 on this one.
Okay.
It's so... Yeah, again, there's not much use there's very little use outside of the specific thing. I mean, outside of side questing, and within side questing, it's a great card. Without that, it's not. And I wouldn't like. I kind of wouldn't mind to see maybe one less hit point and one extra attack or something like that would be cool. But yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm right there with you, Micah. I know that I was talking about like it seemingly sounded like I was going to give this card a good rating, but you know, outside of a Dunedain, a side quest deck, even in scenarios where there are side quests present, I still don't run the East Road Ranger. I think for 3 cost, there's just better options. You can get the the healing ent that has 3 willpower. Um,
Uh,
the Welling Hall Preserver or whatever has three
Yeah.
willpower. Yeah, it delays coming into play, but you get better stats. So I don't know. It's just I'm gonna have to give this card an 8. It just doesn't make a lot of decks, although it is decent in a side quest deck. So Ted, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it like a 7. It's just
Are you giving it like a 7?
I'm gonna give it I guess like what's like it was like a 6.9, like a 7.2
Okay. No,
is like
this is like back when we started the show and Grant was giving things half ratings.
yeah.
None of that.
I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay. Just straight up 7 done.
Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
just too. We already named the
Yeah.
main reasons. It's just niche,
Yep.
and it's good in those scenarios. Like it's really helpful in those scenarios, but otherwise it's like not so much.
You can win those scenarios without this card too. Right?
You can,
That's the
yeah,
thing. You know,
but
like,
it could be a good card to throw in.
Yeah.
So it's not so bad.
Yeah. Okay, well, there you have it. That's our East Road Ranger without the Ranger trait. And join us again next week as we talk about more cards in the game. And you know what? Behind the scenes, we told Micah he gets to pick next week's card. So, and Kierdan is already somebody we've talked about, so it won't be Kierdan. Yeah. So, okay, everybody, see you next week. Have a great day.
Do you love the content? Here's what you can do to stay connected. Become a patron. The money collected through Patreon goes into keeping the lights on here at the podcast. We love our patrons, and you can join at many different levels. Visit patreon.com/cardtalk2018. You can subscribe to us, whether you're watching our YouTube channel or you're listening to us in your favorite podcatcher. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications of all our new episodes. Didn't know we were an audio podcast? Find us by searching Card Talk to get access to our 120 plus regular episodes. Didn't know we were a video channel? Find us by searching Card Talk LOTR LCG on YouTube. And there you can find not only our regular episodes, but you can find our bonus playthroughs and other content related to the game. Want to get a hold of Ted, Grant, or myself? Feel free to email the podcast at cardtalk2018@gmail.com.